All right, everybody. Well, if you've been wondering where I've been, and a lot of you have been asking, well, I've been up to some things that are not train-oriented. Firstly, I retired, and that took a little bit of a lifestyle change. I just had to change some of the ways I was doing things, so I retired, and now I'm happily ensconced in that lifestyle. I concentrated a little bit more on archery, and it paid off because me and my mixed teammate set a world record. That's pretty neat. I've also been doing a little bit more with real trains. I rode on the old Pueblo trolley here. That was pretty fun. And I took a cross-country trip from Alabama to New York on the Crescent. That was a blast. I'll do a trip report as far as what it was like staying in this little compartment. It was a lot of fun, and I actually slept pretty well. And my wife and I had a really good time in New York. And no, this police helicopter was not coming for me. Although, maybe it should have. Who knows? I also went to Japan to ride some trains. And, of course, I wanted to ride my favorite train in the whole world, which is the Hello Kitty Shinkansen, because they are taking it out of service, and I had to go, or I wouldn't have never been able to do this. It's not the only train I rode on, so I'm going to have a day-by-day detailed report of that entire trip here pretty soon. In the meantime, on my quest to get to 1 million subscribers, I've gotten to nearly 5,000, and this number, 4940, belongs to this beautiful CB&Q steam engine and to this GP Series Canadian National. Both are good-looking trains. Because of how long I've been gone, I have a massive backlog of trains that I haven't gone through yet, so this is the first in what I think is going to be a pretty long series of breaking the backlog. And they're not going to be full reviews because a lot of these have been out for a long time, but I'm going to go through the trains I have and concentrate on what I think is important. Super Smooth has been really patient waiting for me, and they've sponsored this series as they usually do. So thanks a ton to Super Smooth. Please check out their products. They're quite worth it, and they're quite affordable. So where to begin? Well, I decided to start with the smallest, and what I found in the entire pile, and it was a big pile, were these Bowser PCC trolleys. And the specific trolley that I purchased was one of these 1976 Bicentennial Trolleys, which, if I remember correctly, was actually a Kansas City trolley before it became a SEPTA trolley. I think most of these are out of service now, and I swear as a kid, I remember going to see these. I didn't grow up super far from Philadelphia, but yeah, I think I rode on some. It's a little bit hard to remember that far back, but yes, I am that old, to where I would have been around the area when these were actually in service. I think I chose this model because it was small, it was sitting there, and I'm like, oh, I could do a quick review on this and start using it on my track. So this is the first one I pulled out of the entire stack. This Bowser DCC Sound-Equipped KC Body Philadelphia Bicentennial. So I'm not super amped about Bicentennial stuff, but I do have a pretty fair amount. Let's go ahead and just quickly get this out of here, and we will go to the first part of literature, which shows you how to lubricate it, I guess. Let's see. All right, these units are not factory lubricated. Okay, that's a little bit weird. Got to run this in for 1 hour without the body. What are the 2 grams this body has? Going to make that big of a difference. And one thing I noticed is that the motor is massive in this, even from the photo. I'm not sure if this is going to be the same as I have, but let's see. These are this is pretty standard stuff here. Okay, now it looks like these are kind of generic photos. I don't think mine has a guy in it. Let's see what this is. Blur, blur, blur. Okay, it is the function settings, and I've noticed the functions are a little bit, well, okay, it looks like they're about the same as a lot of them. Well, I don't know. A lot of lights, emergency beacon. Do I have those things on this? I don't know. Open door. Okay, all right, well, we'll figure that out a little bit. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of its little thing here. Get that out of there. Pop it out. there we go. Looks pretty nice, Oh, you can actually power it through the trolley arm if you want to, it looks like. All right, that's pretty neat. Molded white with painted, which, yeah, they look okay. The colors are crisp. Let's see, the trucks seem pretty free-rolling, or pretty free-moving. The paint's not bad. It's decent. It's not super, I don't know. There's something a little bit muted about it. The lines look pretty crisp, though. I think I can handle this. Looks pretty decent. But one thing I've noticed is that you could see just the motor there, and that's, I don't know, that's kind of annoying, to be honest with you. It's kind of an old school design, something that I'd see from the 70s or 80s. Let's see, there's the trolley arm. Okay, super. I'm definitely not going to power this through any kind of overhead wire. And pretty decent exposed gear set, but I don't think that'll be a problem. But, geez, you could just see the motor through there. I think that's kind of weird. It's just a really old... I mean, what do you do with this? You're going to look through there and see this huge honking motor in there. And I think it'll make for kind of a reliable runner. But if you look at pretty similar sized offering by, I think this is Rocco, you could see the motor kind of sticking out the bottom, but when you look through the windows, you just see seats. You don't see motors or anything like that. I don't know. I like this better. This is really disappointing on Bowser's part. What an antiquated old school model, where this is something that people would have accepted back in the day, but I think modern modelers probably are going to demand a little bit more. All right, well, because I have to run this apparently with the shell off, I'm not really sure what the point of this is, and I have to lubricate it myself and run it in for an entire hour. Let's go ahead and get the shell off. Okay, well, let's at least try to get the shell off here. It looks like it should be pretty simple according to the instructions. Just to simply pull and pop shell. So let's try with toothpicks here and see if that'll kind of get around the bracing that's used for the glazing inside, and hopefully that'll get us on our way. Let's try a bunch of these and see what we kind of get. Eventually I settled on just sticking pieces of paper in there, and when the shell popped right off. I had some stuff left over from Japan. So let's take a look. And again, it looks robust, but geez. I mean, they could have done the whole Bachmann thing and kind of put people inside and just add them. This kind of sucks, honestly, to be honest with you. I think if you're going to want this to run for a while, this design should be pretty robust. But man, it just takes away from the whole aesthetics of having a modeled, where it's supposed to look kind of real, and you're supposed to be able to kind of lose yourself in it. Anyway, let's go ahead and do what the instructions say to do here, and let's run this in for an entire hour. Yippee-ki-yay. But I do have the shell off. I'm doing exactly everything the way they said to do it. somewhere in the middle of this little, I guess, clamp for the trolley arm broke off. It doesn't look like a very robust piece, so probably shouldn't be surprised there. So I was able to sort of jury rig one here out of a staple, and that should be good enough. But the model is just minimally disappointing, I guess, up to this point. Well, let's take a look at the DCC controls. Circuit board's nice. It's obviously put a lot of time into that. And let's see what kind of decoder is in it. We'll wait for this to come up here. What do you know? It is a LokSound-5 DCC. It's unrestricted, so I should be able to make changes to it as I see fit. I don't want to blow away the sound file because I won't get that back. But let's go ahead and see what we can see here. All right, we'll load it up. And there we go. Okay, so what do we have here? Yeah, it's set to default, has lights. It's a bunch of different lights. Let's take a look at the different sound slots. It's got a bell, curve squeal, auto stop, doors, stop request, and normal stop. All right, we'll have to kind of see what that sounds like. And the PCC up there in sound slot 1, that should just be the noise it makes while it's running, I'm pretty sure. All right, let's bring this up. Try the light. There we go. Ooh, there's a lot of bleed through. A lot of bleed through. Well, bell sounds pretty fun. We can go with that. Test the lights, see what this does. Does it do anything? I don't see these doing anything. Internal lights, so we can see that nice big motor. This actually has an interesting feature where you depress F7, it will actually not start to move again until you click it off. So I guess it works that way. You've got to actually wait for the people to get out and for the doors to close. So be a little bit cautious if you just like to start hitting buttons while your train is on the track. So yep, it'll actually just sit there until you disengage F7. Took me a minute to figure that out one time. All right, let's go ahead and run through the slow speed. Well, I guess one thing, thanks to that massive motor that you could see through the windows, which would be a severe hazard to people actually riding on this, provides for a pretty nice slow speed operation. And given the scale of this, if you're going to run it in a fake town or something like that, I think it's pretty nice. We'll go up to 2 here. Goes a little bit faster, but the one thing I noticed about this thing is once you get it to top speed, it goes ridiculously fast. Way farther than scale fast, kill everybody on board. I think they probably could have done a little bit better job with the gearing because there's absolutely no reason that this trolley car needs to go Superman around the track. It just gets ridiculously fast. But it's a little bit hard to complain, I guess, since one seems to do okay. But if they would have geared this a little bit differently, one would have been hyper smooth. And I mean, it just seems like anything above 8 is pretty unrealistic in this trolley. So pretty interesting, but just not entirely sure. And you can see there with the lights on that, you could just see that chunk motor in there. Again, I think if they would have done this the Bachmann way and put people's silhouettes or fake people in the windows, I think it would have been a lot better. So yeah, it's a bit of a freakish model in that sense. We'll back it up here and you can just see the motor. So it's okay in that sense. Anyway, this was meant to be just a quick look at this. And as far as my final thoughts, it's kind of a disappointing model. I mean, I think if you want a robust trolley that'll run through your layout, no problems, and it won't give you any grief, then you can do it. But the motor coming through and all the light bleed through, it's just not a particularly well thought out model. And it looks nice, and I don't know as far as Bowser's history with this model. Maybe they've had this shell for, I really have no idea. If you know, I'd love to hear, but maybe they just had this shell and decided that they wanted to put out a DCC series, or I don't know. I don't know much about Bowser. In a lot of ways, I'm still a little bit surprised that they exist, but yeah, look, there's nothing I can do with this to make this interesting, because it's just, you're just going to see that motor through there. Well, anyhow, I just had to get back into the groove. Yeah, the other thing is I wish I got really sick here on my recent trip, so also getting over that. But I'll leave you with a running session, and you can take a look and see if this is something that you might envision running around your layout. Well, what do you think? At least it doesn't have a smoke unit that's going to melt down. Kind of sucks still that I lost that little trolley hold down, but oh well, didn't really, I guess I'm not super amped about this model. I will keep it, and probably someday when I get my permanent layout, I will have a town, and this will be one of the models running around in that town. So yeah, it's fine. It's just sort of a bummer. It just seems like the model railroading world has moved on, and this model is kind of a blast from the past, which is a past I really wish we would kind of just let go, where I think Bowser just needs to get a little bit more sophisticated if it wants to put out a model like this. So there you have it. Let me know. I'm glad to be back. I'll try to keep a regular schedule again, and I have so many models to go through. And as I get new models here, I'll do more in-depth reviews of those. I do have a couple things on order from BLI. Don't really know why sometimes, but they do make models that I like, and there is a special model coming in that has a whole history behind it. So here you go. I will do a running session for you, and you can just watch and enjoy, and then I'll eventually put up the running session on its own. So thanks for being patient. I'm glad I'm back, and I should be able to keep going for a little while. So appreciate it. And yeah, continue to like and subscribe. Help me get to 1 million subscribers. Should be able to do that from about where I am within a week, I think. So take care. Stay safe. Happy model railroading. I'll see you soon.
light on Market Street, shining on the rail. People lining up in time, every kind of tale. Coffee cups and quiet dreams, waiting for the call. Then that bell goes clang, clang, echoing for all. Past the corner bakery, fresh bread in the air. Children laughing by the curb, racing everywhere. Every stop a little world, doors open and close. In a blink you're somewhere new, nobody quite knows. Step aboard, don't hesitate, find a place to stand. City moving to the groove, just like it was planned. Windows frame a passing world, flickers as we go. Every turn a brand new scene in the morning glow. Round the corner, hear the band of wheels upon the track. Steel and street in harmony, never looking back. Every stranger's just a friend you haven't met before. Riding through the rhythm of the city evermore. Clang, clang, come along, ride the line today. Rolling through the avenues, cares just fade away. Take a seat or hold the rail, let your spirit